And in the fifths, another unfortunate result. We rolled the opposition for 234. James Coyne, who was also only available for 1 week because he was having a Valentine's week holiday in the Gold Coast, he took 4 for 90. And then following on from that, we were all out for 170. With I think Adam Coyne made 37. Reece Brady top scored with 62. But beyond that, it was everyone fell apart. So that was that. 6 didn't play, and neither did the 7th. So that's the seniors wrap up. The 16s lost their game on the weekend, which means that I think their finals chances are finished.
They started really well, though.
They did start really well, and they were looking good all season. And I think there was a game where the opposition couldn't field a team for week 1, and they had the option to take the forfeit, our boys. And Luke Forrest very kindly decided that no, we'll play a one-dayer in the second week, and they lost. So there's 6 points gone, finals over. But anyway, I guess that's the headspace you're in, Luke Forrest, when you're best mates with Andrew Lovett. But anyway, 14's lost.
Is he?
Yeah,
is he? That's the biggest name.
Him and Reece Ulich, or whatever his name is.
He might wake up and Andrew Lovett will be on him one.
Allegedly. But, anyway, so that's and I think the 17s. I think I don't think their chances for finals are there, but they're playing their final game this Friday night. So that's the.
One thing that stood out there and has probably been evident throughout the year, which is disappointing for us, especially for the 1s and 2s. The guys that you mentioned, like there was guys that only could play 1 week who were 1s and 2s, and I think that's actually.
It's been too common a theme. I know it happens in isolation, it's okay, but it's happened throughout.
And I think, and it was very hard to know from our point of view, we were losing 3 a game for the first half of the year, and obviously the 2s. The 2s have been in the same boat, and when they started well this year, they had, the guys were consistent players, but unfortunately, people have to go away and all this sort of stuff, and that has obviously worked against us, I think, this year. So hopefully next year we can get these guys playing 11 games rather than 8 or 9.
Yeah, that's right. So that's Longyear. That's Bentley A&A. And just before we move into Longyear Shield, obviously it's a very significant event for the club on Saturday night, where we have the 80th anniversary celebrations. For those who don't know, the CMCA was formed in, it was, I think, previously the Bentley Cricket Association or thereabouts, but that happened in 1930 by Harry Morgan, when he actually created Bentley A&A Cricket Club and formed some teams to actually play against, which eventually became the City of Moorabbin Cricket Association. Now, that was done in that time, and obviously Bentley A&A were pioneering when it came to actually forming the CMCA, and that was 80 years ago, and this season is the celebration of that, we're celebrating that at the South Oakley Club on Saturday night. Full house. I think there's over 125 people attending. The maximum was 120. We've been able to squeeze in a few more seats, so it's going to be a fantastic night.
Got the lead pass?
Well, my wife's coming, so
It's obviously not.
Oh well, there's going to be a follow-on. We're opening up the club rooms after the shop closes, so it should be a good night. So, moving on to Longyear Shield, as we mentioned, A&A lost to Mackie.
How did you see Mackie after last game we played Brighton Union and obviously the other teams in the 4? How did you see Mackie?
Oh look, their bowling attack's great. I mean, they do rely on Craig Park, and I mean, we say that Craig Park plays on a pitch which is quite responsive to his bowling, but he's taken more wickets away than he has at home. So he's obviously the key focal point. Not to mention, obviously, with Damien Crotterfield with the bat, and I guess we never really got to have a good test at their batsmen because of the situation of our game. But look, they've got some great cricketers, and I'm not sure how they'll come up against an East Sandringham, but Mackie is second on the ladder, and they deserve to be that because they've had a good season. But I guess moving on to East Sandringham, now on Saturday, they proved as to why they're on top of the ladder. They were rolled for 180 in week one with, I think, top score was, their score's aren't up online, but basically they made 180. And West Bentley, in reply, they had the game in the bag. They were 3 for 140 just after tea, with Compathitos and Mark Reed doing the job. Pathitos was on 46 and Reed was on 35, and then all of a sudden, from 3 for 139, all out for 148. So they lost 7 for 9. That's amazing, isn't it? And that is that kicks West Bentley out of the four because of Amiga's win against Elwood. So
they've got 2 years, and we saw something similar when we played West Bentley at the start. We had them, I think,
9 for 90, and then they were able to step up a gear with Chopper Reed.
And almost got there, but that's to lose 7 for 9. That's remarkable. That's remarkable. I don't know. Look, East End could have just bowled 7 of the best balls you're ever going to see.
Because Biggie Phelan came in and chipped in with some wickets. I think he took 3 to get the breakthroughs, and then Cheeks came back on and finished it off. Yeah. So big psychological advantage for East Sandringham, knowing that they can win out of any situation. And as a result, they'll be very confident coming into the finals.
So you just have to think West Bentley now. I don't know who they've got, and we'll look at it later. But their confidence must be shot. But
the other game that had a massive impact on the four was Amiga versus Elwood. Now Elwood were they'd be pretty confident because they rolled Amiga for 162. In week one,
I would have backed Elwood too.
I
think I backed them before the game too.
And here we go. Sorry. And what were they? They were 1 for 54, so they basically needed 100 to win. And Marshall was smashing them around. So they were 1 for 54, and then all of a sudden 8 for 85 after being 1 for 54. So. Chris Clement and Anthony D'Amico both taking 4 wickets each, and a 50-run win to Amiga. Backs to the wall, Amiga, and they know how to win, don't they?
Same story. It's
look at the camera, mate.
Yeah, no, sorry, I was just having a look because the first time I said it, but with Elwood, they rely solely on
Marshall and Nathan.
Marshall and Nathan. So if you can get those guys early, and you have a look at their middle order, and they're always going to be in trouble. But the good thing for Amiga is Clem, I thought he was injured, so he's obviously back and taking wickets, and he's the key for Amiga if they're going to have a say in the finals. But having a look later on, Elwood, they just blew a big chance, a big opportunity. Yeah, so
their chances are over because they're now 6th, and West Bentley are ahead of them on percentage. And the 4 is now East Sandringham, Mackie, Brighton Union, and Amiga. Brighton Union with a team that shored up its chances. They in week one they were 8 for 174 with Alex Gurdon again making 57 not out, and Cody making 37 not out, and Avant 37. So they were looking vulnerable after week one, but they came out and Carnegie South all out for 84. Which was a poor result for Carnegie South, but
I think the fact that they rolled Carnegie for that masks the issues with Brighton Union. I think they'd be still worried about their middle order and top. No one's making the runs
except for
Alex. So hopefully, look, Scorgie has had a really good back end. It's the first failure probably since Christmas. So. They'll be obviously hoping for him to stand up again, but these craft check, these sort of guys in the middle order just aren't making the runs. So Kingy and all these sort of guys. So 1 game to go, you'd really hope they get a long bat in the middle and get some runs on their belt and get some confidence, because you can't rely on Gurdon to be getting your 50s and 60s every game and getting you over 150.
The other games, I should say, which actually probably affect the bottom end of the season.